In the past 2 years, we've looked often and at length at pressure points in the public health system, from the urology department at the Southern DHB to real pressure post-earthquake in Canterbury, to Nigel Murray in Waikato, to hospital buildings in South Auckland, to the mental health system. There have been so many stories about inadequacies, whether in financial terms or governance terms, or sometimes both. This story is much, much smaller, but very important to a place and a person, the West Coast. From Hokitika, 280 k's south to Haast, doesn't have a physiotherapist in its public health system, not one. And with all those mountains, a lot of adventure tourism, rugged farmland, and a greater percentage of elderly people than the national average, there's a real need for one. Now, the West Coast DHB is advertising for one. The money is there, the situation is vacant and waiting to be filled, but there's no one. And Terry G, who's an occupational therapist on the coast, has taken it upon herself to find one. She campaigns on social media, she holds placards on the side of the road, and she's a one-woman cheerleading team to get a physio to the coast.
So our last physio, she retired 12 months ago, and I've been waiting 12 months for a new person to come. And by the 12th month, I don't think we should be celebrating a year anniversary. I think we need to crack on and get this solved. And it's really essential that we have a physio in our own community so that people can either walk to the DHB hub, which is the Hokitika Health Centre, or they can get a taxi or get driven here. And we don't have a physio here, and we really need one.
So there is no physio in the public practice in Hokitika?
That's right. And so that physio's boundaries is from Haast Pass, which takes over 3 hours to drive one way. And physios, their boundary stops around Stafford Loop, which is sort of halfway between here and Karamea Junction. That's what we need, but I'm just unsure how active this job position is being advertised. My understanding is that there's a nationwide shortage of physiotherapists, so my logic brain just quips in with, let's advertise overseas then.
And so what does that mean? Who are the people who most desperately need to use physios, who can't afford or don't have ACC support to go privates?
Yeah, well, see, that's the whole point, is that the health physio, the main bulk of people that person would work with is health-related disability, not accident-related disability, health-related. So you've got all your progressive diseases, you've got terminal diseases, you've got a whole bunch of people, you do actually have pre-surgery, post-surgery follow-up with a physiotherapist. You've got people who are frail and falling at home. They need to be seen by a physiotherapist. So the bottom line is, I just want to make this into a good story because the environment here is wonderful. The people are great. The surrounding regions is marvellous. You've got the Southern Alps and the Tasman Sea. I think we've got an amazing place. And so I'm just doing a call out for anyone, obviously overseas and New Zealand, to come and be in paradise.
Go, Terry! You're doing a wonderful job. Right, what's paradise like without a physiotherapist in it? So the people you were talking about before, in broad brushstroke terms, are going to be elderly people disproportionately, aren't they? Yeah,
and obviously pre and post surgery can be a vast age group as well.
And so there is no physiotherapy for those people available in public?
None for 12 whole months. And there's no sign of a physio coming, so hence why I have been asking above.
Not just asking. Not just asking. I mean, you've actually been running a kind of a rather magnificently nutty one-woman campaign, haven't you? You're holding placards on the side. Well, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, Terry. So you've been standing on the side of the road holding placards, haven't you?
I have. Yeah, I've even gone to Littleton on one of my holidays, and I just stood at the Littleton market there because there was a lot of people there. I've obviously stood around Hokitika, and I did stand in the pouring rain one day, and then I went out and bought myself a proper raincoat because I thought if I'm going to do this more often, I'm going to have a proper raincoat. So people are tooting when they know what I'm doing. Some people think I'm protesting. I see it as work recruitment. I'm encouraging total strangers to take photographs of my sign because it has the link to the DHB website on it. I just want a colleague. I think not only do I want a colleague because I'm hearing too much in the community that they're missing physio, but it is the community that's important. It is the people that's important for. And for 12 months, we haven't had that person in that role. And that's not right.
So you need a physiotherapist working in the public health system in Hokitika, and you're saying, Terry, it's paradise. What would their workload be like? How busy would they be?
It's not a... It's kind of interesting because when you say a workload, you can be busy because there are always people coming through. And of course, someone who starts is going to be a little bit super busy because there's a bit of a 12-month backlog to attend to. It's a great job. The last physio was just wonderful, and everybody acknowledges that. And that's the kind of person we need again. So you do a good day's work, you do it for good people, very caring people, and you do get people that aren't complaining about the pain that they're suffering, or they just kind of putting up with it. But if we had a physiotherapist, this would, we've got people falling in the community. They need to learn how to exercise. They need to strengthen their body. But we just need that missing member of our team.
What does it pay? Do you know, Terry?
What's that?
What does it pay? Do you know?
I'm not actually sure what the physio gets, but you get well rewarded with smiles, and positive people. Like it's a wage. I don't think it's underpaid, but you get to live in paradise.
Terry G. In a statement, West Coast GAB DHB Associate Director of Allied Health, Jane George, said patients in the Hokitika catchment are offered appointments at Greymouth, and sometimes Greymouth physios hold clinics in Hokitika. The DHB has 8 registered physiotherapists employed in part or full-time roles and is looking for at least another 5 full-time equivalent physios. Ms George says the DHB advertises the roles locally, nationally and internationally, and it's a constant challenge to recruit due to a worldwide shortage. We're also hearing from people about psychologists and the absence of those from the West Coast. We'll investigate.